we're here today to talk about how to apply to college. Specifically, right now we're talking about how to apply to George Brown. I'm going to go through both the domestic process and the international process for students because they do differ, not significantly, but there is some difference between the two, particularly in the way the dates fall, in where you apply exactly, but don't worry, I'll cover all of that. I can't answer questions while I'm doing this, but Liz will be handling the live Q&A, so feel free to type in chats there. As well, if you still have questions at the end, I know me and Liz both know all of this stuff, but we don't know all of the ins and outs, but we do have our admissions people and our international center on hand in Acadiate in our open house, where they are doing some live Q&As, they're doing some sessions. So that is a really great resource for you to check out after this session is concluded. And if you have questions about that, feel free to post them in the Q&A and Liz can hit you up with the link. So obviously, as I said, first I'll be covering how to apply as a domestic student. And at the end, obviously, as I said, you can go to other options in Acadiate, but also be giving you some email addresses that you can use at a later date. And feel free to screenshot things along the way. No problem if you have some information that you want to hold on to, go for it. So there are three what we call intakes or start dates every year at George Brown. So we have our September start date, which everybody is pretty familiar with. Then we have another one in January. And then we also do have a May start. So that is our spring semester that runs through. So there's three of those intakes altogether. Now, if you are a domestic student, the application starts in October at ontariocolleges.ca, also referred to OCAS, which is probably what I'll be referring to it as throughout the presentation. So that's what I'm talking about when I say OCAS, is your application center. So when you apply to start in September, the applications will open in October of the previous year. And then there is what we call an equal consideration date, which means that everybody who's gotten their applications in by February 1st will be considered equally for the programs. Really popular programs will fill up on February 1st, so things like nursing. Baking is also very popular, so that fills up on February 1st. So if you want one of these high demand programs, definitely get that application in by February 1st. And then as soon as we get all of those applications in, we start sending out acceptance offers. So they can be sent out as early as February, but don't wait, by your inbox on February 1st, assuming you're going to get your acceptance. It may take a month, it may take 6 weeks, but we will reach out to you. You will get an email saying we confirm that we got your application, and you'll even get a student number and a PIN number to start you off, so you can check out all sorts of things like StuView, where you can start looking at things like scholarships, things of that nature. So you can get a little bit of a head start, but we will confirm we received your application. Now, once we start sending out those acceptances and you've gotten into your dream program, wonderful, congratulations. We will need you to confirm that you're coming by May 1st. If you don't confirm that you're going to be attending, we will, as soon as May 1st passes, we will pass that seat along to somebody on the waiting list. So be sure to confirm. I had a friend, I remember back in the day, she really wanted to go into social service worker and forgot to confirm by May 1st, so she was unable to attend. She was pretty devastated. So don't let that moment pass you by. Now, once you've confirmed, by June 15th, we will need a tuition deposit due. So that's like a little bit of money that we're asking you to put down to say, yes, 100% I am coming. It is non-refundable, but it is also part of your tuition. So it's not an additional fee by any means. Now let's say you're coming for the January start date. It will differ a little bit in terms of dates. Not so much. You will still apply starting in October. The equal consideration date is still February 1st. And then acceptance offers will go out probably around April 1st. So you have a little bit of time where you will be waiting. And then in terms of when you need to confirm, it will be noted on your offer. So definitely want to be sure to make sure of when you need to confirm by. It'll be very clear in your acceptance email So definitely make a note of it. Again, we don't want you to lose your spot. So please read it carefully. And then we will need that tuition deposit due by November 11th. Now, let's say you're starting in May, same thing, apply in October, equal consideration date is still February 1st. We will start sending out those acceptances sometime in January 2022. And then again, same thing, we're going to ask you to watch out for your email to see when that confirmation date is due. Sometimes it's like 2 weeks after you receive that email. So please keep your eye out and make note of it very carefully. And then that tuition deposit will be due by March 5th. So when you're applying online at ontariocolleges.ca, or as we call it, OCAS, this is what you're looking at. It's pretty straightforward. You're going to go in there. It's pretty straightforward, fairly intuitive. You're going to go in, you're going to click, you're going to start off by clicking that apply now button. Don't worry, you're not applying at that very moment, but it's a good way to get started on your field. And then it'll come up with an option for Canadian applicants and international applicants. But international applicants for our programs here at George Brown, we ask you to apply through georgebrown.ca. Again, so this part is specifically for domestic students. So you click on that apply now button, and then you can start creating your profile and your account, as we say. So you click on that. Again, don't be scared. You're just taking baby steps towards this. You're not, submitting your application right now. You're going to go through it. You're going to check everything. You're going to make sure everything is right. So this is where you're going to start creating your profile. So to create an account, you want to accept the privacy statement. So you read through that very quickly because they are asking you for a lot of very personal information. So just have a look through it, and then you have to accept the privacy statement right there. I accept it because if you don't accept it, unfortunately, obviously you won't be able to apply. And then OCAS communicates with you specifically through email. So to make it easy for you and to make sure they're not ending up in spam or junk mail, click that little box that says you allow OCAS to communicate with you. Even if you don't click it, they're still going to be able to send you emails. It's just that they may end up in spam or junk. This is just kind of a step to make life a little bit easier for you so you don't lose very important information, especially things like offers and confirmations and important information like that. So definitely click that box, just make your life a little bit easier. So this is where they start asking you for that personal information. As I said, they're going to ask you for a lot of things. So you want to, that's why they have that whole privacy statement for you. So to get started, obviously you're going to hit that get started button and just be ready to tell them everything they need to know. And because they're going to ask you a lot of questions, don't worry, it's all very safe and private and confidential. So once you open that up, you're going to hit in your personal information all through there. And once that's done, they're also going to ask you for things like your previous education. So once you've given them your name, your number, your email address, everything about that, and create that initial profile, they're also going to ask you for prior education. So this is things like if you aren't coming directly from high school, and if you have had previous post-secondary education, this is where they're going to want to know about it. So you click on that, get started. If you are coming directly from high school, your high schools will generally be sending your transcripts directly to OCAS, so you don't have to worry about that. If you are a mature student and you're coming not from high school directly, you need to request transcripts to be sent to OCAS. And OCAS luckily makes that very easy for you. There will be a small additional cost for you, but you don't have to run around to the board and hunt things down. They will help you with that. They make the search very easy. And again, this is for domestic students. So once you've done that, and you've filled out all that information, your actual essential profile is complete and you can start doing that official application. But you also don't have to apply right away. You can hit not yet, step away for a bit, maybe, take a day or two, confirm exactly which programs you want to be applying to. So you can take a moment and walk away. They'll save everything for you because you have that wonderful account. You'll have, your password, all of the things that you need. Now this is what your dashboard is. So there will be all kinds of different tabs, so you can switch to different screens. So you can check your profile, you can change, let's say you've changed your phone number or your address, you can change it in that profile button to keep them up to date, because if they need to contact you in any way, you want to make sure they have all the correct information for you. So you've got that there, you've got all the toggles you need, and now you're ready to apply. So you're going to hit that little apply button right there, and you'll be off and running and doing your application. So you can see there, you can also hit the link to apply to college because your profile is complete, and off you go. Now, when you start applying, there is a couple things that you need to make sure you get correct. A lot of things, but the first one is you want to make sure you clarify when you want to go to college. So here we have you want to attend after July 31st, 2020 or before. So the dates are a little bit out of date for us, but you need to make sure when you're applying, let's say you want to come for September 2021, you want to make sure you're clicking on the right time, because otherwise, if you start applying for things in the previous year, it makes it very hard to change it. That's not an easy mistake to fix. So be very careful and cautious and pay attention when you're doing this step. And then again, hit that little button at the bottom to apply now, because you're just keep preparing to apply to the programs that you're going to. Now, so if you're getting ready to apply, we assume that you know which program you're going to. So you want to search all the programs in there, and OCAS has all the programs listed from all the Ontario colleges, so everything is there. So you can do a couple things. You can type in the exact name of the program that you want to be attending, or you can type in a keyword. So in this example here, we've used pharmacy as an example. So you type in pharmacy or pharmacist, and they will start coming up with all the different options for you. Again, you want to be very careful when you do this, because as you can see, for all the different colleges, the name of the program is pretty much exactly the same. So when you choose which program you want to go to, double check and make sure you're using it for the right college. So let's say here you want to study pharmacy technician at Centennial as your first choice. You want to choose that and maybe make sure that you don't apply to another college that's further away. So you click the right one and put it on your application. And so they know which college that you want to be going to. So there you go. And then you hit save, and your program choice will be saved. So you can apply up to 5 colleges, 3 programs at any one college. So let's say you want to go to George Brown, you apply to 3 different health sciences programs with us, then you can apply to 2 other programs at another college. We always suggest you use all 5 options because it's a flat fee. So you might as well take all those options with you there. And so you also, of course, you want to make sure you hit save right there. So everything is saved and you're not going to lose your application. They have all the programs that you want to apply to saved on your profile and ready to go. So that's your first step. You choose your programs, first step. Second step is you're going to order transcripts. Obviously, as I mentioned, if you're in high school, your high school will send your transcripts on your behalf. Now, if you're coming in as a mature student, you will need to track down your transcripts, which again, OCAS makes it pretty easy for you to do that. So here you can see, you can actually search by a school that you've gone to, and they will help you get your transcripts for you. And you can search by high school, you can search by college or university and things like that. So they will help you order those signed and sealed transcripts for you to send to the school of your choice. So make it really easy. I remember doing this. Again, this was a step I had to do because I came back as a mature student. So they got me everything they needed from my high school and from the university that I did attend. So they got all of that ready for me to go. So once that's done, you've got all of your information in there. You've got all the programs. You've got all the programs that you want to apply to. You've got your transcripts ready, everything. You go back, you look it over, make sure everything is exactly as you want it to be. Again, OCAS is very helpful, I'll be honest, but some mistakes, like I said, are harder to fix than others. So you want to make sure everything is correct. So go back and review your choices. Make sure you're applying for that right semester and the right program at the right college. And from there, that's where you're going to go, and click on payment after you've done that full review. It's because, OCAS is still going to charge you a little bit of money to apply for the colleges that you want. And it will also show you how much money you owe. So the fees are $95 for all 5 of those program choices. As I said, it is a flat fee, which is one of why you should use all 5 choices. You're paying for it anyways, so you might as well. You never know, maybe you'll get into a program and it'll pique your interest even though it wasn't your first choice. So give yourself lots of options. So that cost is $95, but there may be an additional cost for transcripts that you're requesting. It's not a significant amount, but it can add up. So that is something you will have to pay for, and OCAS will charge you and they'll let you know how much it is. This person had fees outstanding of $200, so they had to pay that. Now, if you want to, when you want to pay, you're going to have to pay to get that application. And of course, you can apply, you can pay online by credit card if you're comfortable with that. But if you're not, you can also call OSAP and give them your credit card information over the phone. And again, if that's not something you're comfortable with, you can also, or you don't have a credit card, that happens sometimes, and we know that. You can also go to the bank, get a certified check or a money order, and send that to OCAS. It's a pretty easy process. I actually just did it for an application for an apartment. So it takes a couple minutes, but go to the bank and get that certified check and you can send it off. So that's just one way to do it. Okay, so once you've done all that application, your application's gone in, you're going to want to keep an eye on your dashboard. I always suggest checking it once every couple weeks. That's also where you will have any messages from OCAS themselves if something's missing, they need any additional information from you. Maybe you send in that money order and they didn't receive it in time. This is where you will find out that kind of information. So keep an eye on your dashboard. And even better than maybe missing information, best information they will have, this is where they will give you your offers. So like I said, keep an eye on it. You'll also receive emails from OCAS directly to check your dashboard and see where your offers are. So definitely want to keep an eye on the website itself. It's always good to track your applications as they go through. You never know what's going on. You want to make sure that they have received it and everything is good to go. Okay, now we know that when you apply and maybe there's a problem, your instinct is probably to reach out to the college that you want to go to, but we may not have received your application already. So if there's any issues, you're going to want to reach out to OCAS itself, either through their website, they do have a help section, or you can call them or email them. My suggestion is always calling people. I find it easiest to connect with them unless they have a lot of chat. But yeah, give OCAS a call. Unfortunately, don't call us because we can't help you because we can't access your application yet. That's why you're going to contact OCAS instead. Okay, we've gone through domestic and now we're going to talk about international. Like I said, it is a little bit different, not drastically, but it is. So we'll talk about that. So like I said, you don't apply on OCAS, you're going to apply directly on our website at georgetown.ca/international. So if you go to our website, you'll see a little drop-down menu for apply. And if you drop down that, you can see how to apply. And there's an option for international students, or even easier, go to georgetown.ca/international. So that's one way to do it. And I'll take you directly to our international page and get you started on that application process. So in regards to the dates, I did go through all of the dates for the applications for domestic students. I'm not going to do that for international students because they differ so greatly. They fluctuate all the time. And I don't want to give you the wrong date or the wrong information because that would be the worst. And I would hate to do that to you. So what I suggest is checking on the website itself or reaching out to the International Center, connecting with somebody there, either at a later date or at some point today. You can connect with the International Center and ask them some questions if you have it about when you should be applying. I do know that the applications for September 2022 are of course open, so you can apply now if you'd like to. Um, so, like I said, you apply directly through georgebrown.ca. You're going to go to that apply now button at the bottom of the page. And again, you hit that, pretty instinctual, apply now. Now, this is what it looks like for your application for international students. The first thing, of course, you need to do is you need to register to create your application. So you need to set up your profile. So you click the big green button and off you go. Now, if you're using an agent, they will have to create an application for you as well on behalf of you. So that is your start right there. Now, once you've created that application, and maybe you've logged out, you want to check the status of it. This is also where you're going to log back in to check how your application is doing and to access a similar dashboard as what you would have seen on OCAS. And again, like I said, on OCAS, it's very similar. They're going to want to ask you a whole bunch of personal information. So they want your email address, of course, because this is how we communicate with you. We don't do snail mail anymore. Everything is done through, your inbox. So keep an eye out for that. You have to give your name as it appears on your passport. So make sure that is correct and up to date. And then, of course, we need to know where you're coming from. Like I said, we're going to ask you all kinds of not very personal, but personal information to get you started and ready to go. And so if you're using an agent, you can submit their information here. And they also need to know if you've applied to any post-secondary or other Canadian school before. And that's not just Ontario, but any Canadian school. And because for international students, we do ask proof of English proficiency. So we'll ask for things like we need some kind of qualification. So maybe if you've done TOEFL, we'll ask for that. But we will also can ask for a certificate from a private language program that you may have taken. And if you're going to also need to fill out your school scores and everything like that. So we know how you did. And if you do live in the Toronto area and are not too far away, we may also ask you to come in for an English assessment test. So those are the different options in terms of determining your English proficiency. So like on OCAS, you need to make sure you select your program that you want and the date you want to start it. You have two options, two choices. One thing you should note is that not all programs and not all start dates are open for international students. So you need to make sure and check that the program that you want is open for you and that you are able to apply. So first thing you want to do is you select your first choice. So you put in all your information there. Now, you definitely want to use that second choice. If the first program is full, your first choice is full, or you don't meet the requirements, you just won't be accepted into the college. But if you have a second choice on there, you will be considered for your second choice. So if you don't use it, you're kind of cutting yourself short. So definitely want to take advantage of the choices that you have, not only because you're paying for them, but because this is what gets you into the college itself. And we'll also need some documents from you. Be sure they are clear and legible and fully and complete. If they are not legible, we will not be able to accept them. And of course, they do have to be in English. So if you're coming from somewhere and your transcripts need to be translated, be sure you do that and make sure they are notarized. So they need to be certified so that we know that they are, the originals. And then you have to get all of those uploaded and ready to go, including your signed use of represented for, and we also do need your passport as well. Again, don't worry, this is all very, very confidential and private. We have a very good system on here. Nothing will be leaked. Now, if you have any transcripts from any other school, specifically for any other post-secondary school you may have been to, and as well, so we'll need all of those. Again, translate it if necessary. Now, some of the programs will even ask for a resume. These are generally for our postgraduate programs, but you may need to upload those as well. So hopefully be ready to have access to something, to a scanner or some way that you can upload those documents and get them ready for us to see and review. Again, there is a $95 application fee. You can pay it by credit card online. And if you don't have a credit card, you can do a bank transfer for us. So it's really up to you. There are also promo codes out there if you do have one. This is where you will enter it. So you can get a little bit of a discount. And be sure to note the application fee is not refundable. So once you put it in there, you've put it in there. So be sure you're applying for your correct programs. Again, you want, oh, sorry, I just banged that there. Review your application, make sure everything is correct. Make sure you're taking that right program. The first choice is indeed your first choice. And you have that second choice noted in there because you want to keep your options as open as possible. And make sure you go through it, read the statement, make sure you agree with everything and everything's correct. And then you click that little button at the bottom that said you have read it and you agree with the statement. And then final step is you're going to submit application on the bottom right-hand corner. So off you go, you're ready to go, you submitted your application. That was easy, right? The only thing you need to be sure of is to check the dates as you go along because they will fluctuate throughout the year. Now, once you've done that, you've submitted your application, your offers will also come in online at georgebrown.ca. So you can always log back in. As I showed you at the beginning, you click that blue button this time. You already have a profile, you have applied to the college, so you click in there and you review it and you'll see your offers here. The letter of acceptance will be in a PDF document for you. Make sure you've checked all the conditions for things like visas, work permits, anything like that. And always check deadlines and dates, because if you miss them, I can't emphasize this enough. If you miss them, we may pass your seat along to somebody else. And we don't want you to lose out on that very important step. So now you've gotten your offer, you're going to click accept for the program that you do want. There may be a payment, tuition deposit here that they're going to ask for. So make that payment to hold your spot so you don't give it away. And again, make sure you agree to the statement so you know what program you're going into and what is going to be happening. So you can be starting and you're ready to go. Wonderful. Congratulations. You've applied and you've gotten in. These are exciting, both for domestic and international students. Very excited for you. There's lots of resources available to you. The most important ones, of course, being things like admissions. Contact them directly as long as your application has already gone through OCAS. For international students, you're going to want to contact international admissions. They have international officers for pretty much every country of students who come to the college. So there's lots of people who are able to talk to you, walk through the process with you. They are an invaluable service for you. You can also, if maybe you're not sure what you want to take and what your next steps should be, we have wonderful entry advisors that you can talk to. You can make an appointment with them for a phone call right now and do it over email, and they can help you make that first step in your application. Because sure, you know how to apply now, and that's great and wonderful, but maybe you don't know what you want to apply for, and that's okay. It happens to so many people. So these are the people who you reach out to, make sure that they have the right step. My email address is down there. And while yes, I was able to do this wonderful presentation for you, you can email me, but chances are I'll pass you off to one of the admissions officers to help you get that absolutely correct high-end information. So thank you so much for coming. That's my presentation.